The LA-7B. I hate this airplane for one reason, and one reason only. Well, okay, I guess two reasons. And that would be the bombs that it drops, which I actually don't have unlocked for mine because I never fly the thing because, you know, I hate it. That would be those two 100 kilo bombs that it drops that explode with the explosive power of 7 SAR bombas apiece. And it drops, of course, 2 of them. I swear that I have dropped 500 and 1,000 and 2,000 pound bombs closer to enemy tanks and tank battles than people have dropped these bombs closer to me with these little hundreds, and they detonate, and you never get damaged, you don't lose your tracks, you just explode. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's mostly psychological, but it doesn't matter because hatred is psychological too, and I hate the LA-7B. Oh, the Horton. How I did love thee. When this airplane first came out, it could outturn anything that there was. It was so absolutely beautiful. All wing, no fuselage. It could pull tighter turns than anything in the game and absolutely shred them with the motor cannon 103s on it. Or 108s. I forget. Whichever. You put mine and Gashof's belts on that thing and you could absolutely destroy everything. And then they made it so the wings broke if you pulled more than like half a G. And it just got so frustrating to fly it. And then, of course, there's the whole getting strafed out by HVAPs with it, which doesn't really give me happy feelings towards it. But it's sad because I really, really did absolutely love this airplane. And I had a Cool Ranch Dorito skin for it on my old computer that I never moved over to this one, or else I'd be showing that right now. I really, really loved this airplane when it first came out, especially. But it's so frustrating to fly it now because of remembering what it used to be like when it first came into the game, and then getting hit by the HVAPs if you're playing tanks. But, oh well. So going way back now, way back before tanks were added into the game, and before bomb zones were added into the game, where you had to bomb out bomb zones before you could bomb the airfield, the aircraft that led to bomb zones being added into the game was the Year 2. And that is because these things, when they got their maximum bomb load, which is shown partially here, that's those 3 1,000 kilo bombs underneath, and then, what is it, 500 kilo bombs inside? Something absolutely ridiculous. It's a wonderful bomb load for playing 4.0 to 4.7 tank battles. I mean, it's great. I fly this thing all the time, but I absolutely hate it for the early days of both arcade and RB air battles, where people would squad up in 4 of these things and fly to the airfield and bomb it out, and that would be the end of the battle before you could even finish climbing for your initial engagement. It was stupid. It was frustrating. It was definitely ruining the game, and it's hard to argue against that because they added in the 3 bomb zones specifically to prevent that kind of thing from happening. And this airplane was 95% of the reason for that. Anybody who has played tank battles in War Thunder and isn't someone who only plays the USA knows exactly why this is on the list. The P-47, with its cast bomb load, is an absolutely wonderful airplane to fly if you're flying it. But oh my god, if you are on any team that's fighting against America, whether it be a mixed battle, so I guess if you're playing America, if you main America and you've ever had a mixed battle where there were P-47s, you would understand too. But mostly for other nations, you see P-47s coming in and they're fully bomb and rocket loaded out, and then they drop all their bombs, fire off all their rockets, and then they've got 850 cals to fire at you. Oh my god, what a horrible thing to have to fight against. It's a great airplane. It's absolutely a great airplane. But that doesn't stop me from hating it when I encounter it when I'm playing lower tier tank battles. This one. This thing. My hatred for this comes purely from trying to fly it. Not from trying to fight against it because, easy peasy. No, it's from trying to fly this thing and trying to take it off from aircraft carriers, or trying to do anything useful with its cannons, or trying to bomb anything with its bomb load, or trying to survive more than 8 seconds of entering the battle. Oh my god, I hate the Firebrand so much. It's so terrible. And now to the comment section to see all the people defending it. The PB4Y, which is, of course, Navy for B-24, sort of. I thought when this was added, oh, cool, a B-24, essentially, a derivative of the B-24 that I can take out into, RB air battles and bomb out a bunch of zones and have a relatively enjoyable time spading it out and gain a bunch of aircraft modification tier bonuses for spading this out towards the jets that I was researching at the time. And I thought that'll be great. It won't be any worse than any other American 4-engine heavy bomber that I've flown in this game. And oh god, was I so wrong. The gunners don't seem to hit anything, which is not really the airplane's fault. But the rip speed on the wings is absolutely atrocious, and the top speed just never ever seems to be quite fast enough to get anywhere before interceptors get to you. And the tiniest amount of damage, and you can kiss this ass goodbye right here because it will be separated from the rest of the airplane, and you will be tumbling down to earth in at least 2 pieces, potentially more. This was just... I did not enjoy flying the PB-4Y, and it's not even particularly useful for bombing in tank battles either, because of the wing rip speed, and if you generally want to go into a dive to get to the battle faster, because there's probably interceptors and SPAA up, and you're inevitably going to rip your wings off or get shot down before you even make it anywhere to drop whatever bomb load you might have suffered through grinding out. It does get 8 1,000-pound bombs, which is a great bomb load if you can ever get it onto a target, especially a bunch of enemies capping a zone, but good luck to you if you ever try it. I hate the Yak 3s, and I mean all of them. The Yak 3, the Yak 3P, most especially the Yak 3 VK107, because they just don't ever seem to bleed off any energy whatsoever, especially the VK107. Now, I understand that has a larger engine, but still. These things can catch up to anybody. If you're coming out of a dive and it's coming out of a zoom climb, it will catch you, no matter what. I hate these airplanes. I hate seeing them. I hate trying to fight them. It doesn't matter what tactics I use. I can almost never beat them, and I just hate them. Want nothing to do with them. Absolutely hate Yak 3s. My hatred for any Griffon Spitfire comes purely from fighting against them. I absolutely love flying them. I have no trouble flying them. I have lots of fun flying them. I've spaded the 22. I'm working on the 24 slowly as I go. Whenever I play tank battles in the appropriate battle rating, I put my Spit Mark 24 back in to finish it up. But for a very, very, very long time, this goes back to my joystick-only first-person view days from when I used a joystick. I flew bombers a lot. You would get Guam a lot when you played US bombers, and you would see Spit Mark 22s and Spit Mark 24s after they were added to the game. And they would always be at altitude, hitting you with the 20 mil air belt cannons before you could even make it to the first bomb zone on Guam. And there's nothing more frustrating as a bomber player than to not even make it to the first place to try to drop off your bombs. It's such a waste of time. But that's the main reason why I hate the Griffon Spitfires. They're just such a pain in the ass to fight, which is, kind of a tribute to how good they are, but I hate fighting against them. Speaking of hating something from fighting against it, and also speaking of Guam, basically from the other side of the table is any bomber that has 50 cal defensive armament. 50 cal flamethrowers. Oh, dear God. The B-29 is a great example, and I used it just to make everybody laugh with the decals I put on it, but the B-29 is a great example. They start in with their air spawn, they just keep climbing, and by the time you can get up to them, even if you go dedicated after them with an air spawn interceptor, you're probably going to be laboring to get up to their altitude, and by the time you can get up, either climb up above them and actually make proper diving attacks down onto them, the battle's probably almost of the way over, and you're just wasting your time and possibly running out of fuel. Or you're climbing up from underneath or from the side of them, and you're just getting hit by their gunners from 1.2 to 2 kilometers out sometimes, it seems, and the smallest little damage to your engine in any kind of airplane that's chasing these things, and pretty much that's it, your engine's out. You might get another good 30 to 35 seconds worth of engine power before your water's going to be empty, your oil's going to be empty, your engine's going to be blacked out, and it's going to stop working, and you're going to drop out of the sky. And even if you are lucky enough to glide all the way back to a friendly airfield and make a safe touchdown landing and repair and rearm and refuel, good luck taking off from ground level and catching up to one of these things. So frustrating. It's not just the B-29, it's the B-17s, the B-24, not really so much the PB-4Y, because for whatever reason, the 50 cal gunners on that thing don't ever seem to kill anything when I'm flying it. But all the rest of them. Anyway, these are just, they're so frustrating to try and attack, especially when they climb up to space, and I'm going to assume I'm not alone in this spot's hatred. Going way back, and I mean way back now, to when War Thunder was only available in black and white, and there were 20 different tiers, and your matchmaking was based 2 tiers above above the tier you were flying. Battle ratings weren't a thing yet. The first jet that was introduced into the game was the MiG-15. And oh my god, it was so annoying. This thing was able to fight against B-17s, B-24s, prop American planes like the P-51. It could go up against anything. And for quite a while, it was the only jet fighter in the game. So lots of people had them bought and spaded out before any other competing jet fighters were available. And this was meant to be a high-altitude fighter, and they would be at very high altitude before you could even get close to them. Trying to fight these things with stock F-9Fs over Korea was a nightmare, because your guns would jam up in no time at all, besides the fact that you're trying to climb and you couldn't do it because you're flying a stock airplane, and then these guys are spaded and sitting up, climbing up to 10 to 12,000 feet above you, and then diving in with super exploding cannons. Oh boy, that was so frustrating. And then, of course, as a tank player, there's the small matter of Tiny Ivans. So yes, the MiG-15 sits at the top spot for my top 10 most hated aircraft in War Thunder. Oh, you piece of... Honorable mentions for this one go to the BE-6, the BV-238, and the TU-4, which ties them in with the bombers with defensive 50 cals. They essentially fit into the same thing. They just obviously don't have 50 cals on board, but for all the same reasons. And the F-2 Buffalo, and basically any other airplane in this game that extremely outperforms its historical abilities and historical performance. So, yeah, the Brewster Buffalo was way up there. I know the Finns had some great luck with it, but that's about one aberration out of an entire history of terrible, terrible airplane. But that's it for today. Let me know what you guys thought of this list, and what your most hated aircraft are in War Thunder, and whether it's because you hate playing against them, or you hate using them yourself, or a mixture of both, and whether it's tanks or airplanes. And that concludes this series of my top 10 most favorite and most hated aircraft and tanks in War Thunder. If this is your first part of this that you're watching, there's an entire playlist, so you can start with my favorite tanks and my favorite airplanes, then my hated tanks and my hated airplanes to finish it out. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone, and thanks for stopping by.